So again, the CrossFit Games happened. And again, we see a technique of the clean and jerk that is just abysmal. So it seems like these CrossFit guys never learn. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe Stark here. So the CrossFit Games this year had the same WOD, it's called the Alpaca, and this time it was called the Alpaca Redux, that they did last year. So it consists out of prowler or sled pushes, then rope climbs, and kettlebell clean and jerks. And again, no kettlebell clean and jerk was done on that day. So here we go, we have 246 kilograms that they have to push, heavy stuff. And then we have 12 kettlebell clean and jerks with double 32s. It's not just 32, it's double 32s. By the way, I love sled pushes. The prowler is a beast. Great for conditioning and great for fat loss, great for everything. It's a low skill exercise that doesn't require a lot of technique, but still gives you a lot of bang for your buck. Oh my God.
That was when Roman actually scored 4 points.
2 legless rope climbs. Who comes up with these ideas? So you're torching your legs with the prowler, then you're torching your arms with the rope climbs, and then you have to do kettlebell clean and jerks. Wow. I think the idea of CrossFit is awesome, incorporating these powerful exercises, but I don't like the competition aspect. I don't like the weights that they're using. I think it's for normal people, you know, everyday people. I think it is coupled with a high risk factor, because if you use too much or too heavy weights and combine it with highly technical exercises, it can be a recipe for disaster. But of course, I'm not downplaying the fitness of these guys. These are truly the fittest folks, or at least they're in the top pyramid of being the fittest folks on earth. So here you go, the first guy walks up to the clean and jerk. Let's go, my man. Krednikov, let's go.
Or a hybrid rope climb. A couple years ago, we saw him do that leg wrap that no one did on the hybrids, whereas
I can already see it.
Listen to the leg. So Pikowski has been working on these, and honestly, if you're an athlete that have games aspirations and you have not been practicing this test in
all of these guys, the monkey move, and no jerk. Again, no jerk has been done on that day. You see, a jerk is when you fall into a second dip. And honestly, I do not understand why CrossFit is saying, okay, this is the exercise that you have to do, a clean jerk. So this means jumping into the double dip, because this requires some additional technique and some additional understanding of the exercise. And then I only see push presses, so you're not jerking the weight. So this would be a disqualification. Like, bro, you don't know, you don't do the exercise properly. And yes, it might be a little subtle difference, but then you can say, you know what, it's a clean and press or a clean and push press. But if you want to jerk it, you have to follow the rules. I don't get it why the CrossFit folks don't care, or they don't seem to learn. It's the same thing happened last year. No clean and jerk was done on that day, and here, again, I'm seeing nothing. I mean, that's one thing, racking the kettlebells out here, double 32s. This can be harmful to your shoulders, that's one thing. But no jerks. Guys, man.
17 is the number that Roman Krennikov is.
Nobody's doing, none of these guys are doing jerks.
And he will load up his sled.
Bruh.
Brent Fikowski staying even with Roman Krennikov.
Oh, here's a jerk. Watch it. Watch the guy. Watch this guy. This guy right here. Watch him. Watch him. Watch him.
Brent Fikowski
and boom. That's a jerk. You see, he's double dipping. But nobody else is double dipping. Or at least, you know, not what I'm seeing right now. But still, why don't they rack it like this? Why don't they learn from a professional who's telling them, listen, you want to be good at this exercise, to rack it properly? And yes, this was in the comments last year. Somebody said these guys actually don't know what exercise or what challenge or what WOD is coming up, which I think is one of the stupidest things ever that CrossFitters do. Every other athlete knows exactly what he or she is supposed to prepare for. So you can do the proper exercises, you can do the proper training, the proper GPP, general physical performance, and the proper SPP, specific physical performance, and the proper technique work, so you can perform best. But here, you lump hundreds of exercises together, so I have to be good or I have to be average at everything, and then I don't know what comes up. So I don't know why they do it. Why not let the athletes know, folks, this is what you have to prepare for at the CrossFit Games. These are the exercises. Get good at it, and let's go. I don't know why they don't do it. It's stupid.
Fikowski was 11th. Pat Fellner actually took 3rd.
Nobody's jerking.
As you said in the previous
Oh, the guy with the blue. Oh, watch. Oh, no. Watch the guy with the blue. See the guy with the blue in the back. Oh, another one's jerking. Oh, good one.
As you said in the previous heat, Jack Farlow's 12:54.
This guy's fast. That's the winner, right? That's the guy who won. Yeah.
Be the first man to start his sled push.
These guys are next level. This is next level. It's the chances of injuring your shoulder and everything else is just out of this world. I get it. It's competition, and I get it. One of the one guy, his name is Andrew Butchardi. I had him on the podcast. A veteran in weightlifter, sports scientist with 50 years of experience. He said, you know what the Russians say? They say high-level athletics or high-level performance has nothing to do with health. I get it, but you can still minimize the risk of injury. These guys don't care. CrossFitters don't care. Now think about this. These guys are now burned out to the max. Really to the max. And now here comes the technical exercise. And this is where I think CrossFit messes up. You are destroying your body's capacity to safely handle complex exercises and technique. And then you have to even imagine, when you are tired, your body runs on its automated systems. What does that mean? If you have perfected technique and you are getting tired, but you can still do the technique in your sleep, your body systems will revert to the technique that you're able to perform and that you're able to put on display. So if that technique is not existent, the reps will look even worse and the chances of injuries are even going through the roof. That's just amazing. And still, worst technique of the century these guys are displaying, and still they are cranking out these reps like madmen. And this is also incredibly impressive. The Russian did it. The Russian made it with worst technique of the year.
The two men on the sled right now.
This is crazy. I think he's a Russian, this guy, right? So here's a funny realization. I'm now just seeing that these guys are wearing belts for the clean and jerk. But you know what the belt is actually for? The belt is actually for you to be able to relax your elbows on the belt so you have a better and more perfected rack position. And these guys rack the kettlebells out here, so they don't need the belt at all. Maybe for lower back protection to a certain extent, but man, who cares? Massive. It's massive. Now, you have to give them credit. You have to give these guys credit. It's just incredible how they're able to put their fitness on display with such a bad technique. And I have to say that the combination is awesome. The rope climbing thing, I don't like it. But the combination with a prowler, with kettlebell exercises, we use this on a daily basis. Kettlebells with the prowler, it's such a great way because kettlebells are so highly technical. They require so much for you to understand how to put the exercise on display. And they require a lot of thinking, a lot of brain power, a lot of RAM. And the prowler doesn't. So it's kind of like an equalizer. The prowler is a low skill exercise that still gives you a lot of bang for your buck and keeps your heart rate up. And the kettlebell requires technique. So I love the combination of both of these exercises, but yeah, again, CrossFitters don't learn. It's a fact. So let's finish this video by showing you the 4 distinct versions of this exercise. The first one that I'm showing you is a kettlebell clean and strict press. So here's the key. You rack both kettlebells close together, elbow close to your body, and this is where the belt comes in because you're now able to rest the elbows on the belt for better support. Now, if you're strict pressing it, you're just doing what the exercise says. So no leg engagement, you're strict pressing it. That's one way to do it. Now we have a kettlebell clean and push press. Now I think there's 2 variations of a push press where you are dipping, pushing the knees forward, and then you are triple extending your ankle, your knee, and your hip, and you send the kettlebells flying and go on the toes like this. Boom. And then there's another variation that I see, kettlebell push press, where you are not allowed to have the heels leave the floor. Then it looks like this. And finally, here's the kettlebell clean and jerk. Now watch the exercise first, and you see the immediate difference, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, and bam. That is the key, okay? Maybe from this angle it's not as visible, or I wanna slow it down a little bit, because these are not heavy weights, so I don't have to jump into the second dip as much, so I don't have to go as deep. But as you can see, I am now dipping and bumping. So here's quadruple extension actually. It's extension of the ankles, extension of the knees, extension of the hips, and extension of the upper back to make way for the bells. And as soon as I land in the top fixation, boom, you see? This is where I bend the knees, bend the hips, and then I bring the kettlebells back down into the rack position. But before I do this, I fully extend all joints, okay? And then I go back down. So the reason why you want to do it like this is because this is how the sport guys do it in kettlebell sport. And these are masters at building efficiency. It's just the same thing when you would tell me, okay, this is how I do a clean and jerk or a snatch with a barbell, and you do it completely different, like the weightlifters do it. Then all the weightlifters will call you out and tell you, listen, you'll never be able to move as much weight or move as efficiently as possible if you don't follow the proper bar path. And here you want to, it's not a bar path, let's call it the kettlebell path. You want to follow the proper kettlebell path. And if you don't do it, if you don't follow this proper kettlebell path, elbows close to the body and then sending them up in a straight line to follow the most efficient way possible, then you are burning energy for nothing, and you're doing unnecessary effort. And here's a final thought. Imagine we have a meet where hundreds of athletes come together. And now we have one exercise. Let's use the power snatch or the deadlift, who cares? So they all come together and they want to do the deadlift. Now everybody has to follow the same rules so that the same rules apply for everybody. You can't just come up and do a different version of the deadlift than it is required. And the same is with the jerk. You can't just do a different variation or not a jerk at all while others do the jerk. You have to master technique, master the exercise so that everybody gets the equal chance.